Gotta get to it, Jamie. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Today we're observing Nirvana Day. This is our annual memorial service for the historical Shakyamuni Buddha. And after service today, we'll be enjoying our annual Dharma School open house. So come and see the projects our Dharma School students have been working on later in the Kaikang. As most of you know, the historical Shakyamuni Buddha lived about 2,600 years ago in what is today an area around Nepal and India. The legend of Siddhartha's life says that at great sacrifice, Prince Siddhartha gave up all worldly titles and possessions, and he became a seeker of truth. At the age of 35, he awakened to the clarity that is often called enlightenment. And just as the word enlightenment implies, it's like a light going on. And when suddenly the world around us is illuminated, we cannot help but see things as they are. And when Siddhartha awakened, he became known as the Shakyamuni Buddha. I know my Metta-Padma students here know what this means. Shakyamuni Buddha. Anyone? Buddha means what? One who is awake. Shakya, his family name, his family clan. And Muni means, I heard it, wise person. Yeah. So Siddhartha became known as the Shakyamuni Buddha to designate which one he was. And we call him the historical Buddha. His life and his teaching of the Dharma is like a seed that was planted in the right time, in the right climate, in the right season. If you have a seed and plant it in the desert, it won't grow. Planted in the winter, it won't grow. Planted in the ocean, it won't grow. But his life was planted in a right time and right season for the Dharma to take root and grow. And so the Shakyamuni Buddha is the wise person from the Shakya family that awakened. And as I've sometimes shared, if one of us becomes enlightened, we might be known as the Sacramento Muni Buddha or the Sacramento Betsuin Muni Buddha, the wise person from the Sacramento Betsuin that awakened. Once Siddhartha became known as the Shakyamuni Buddha, he shared his awareness, he shared his enlightened understanding, and it was called Dharma. Dharma is often defined as the teachings of Buddha, but in the greatest and in the deepest meaning of the word Dharma, this means nothing less than universal truth. I feel we cannot emphasize this enough, that if something is to be called universal truth, then it should make sense to anyone, any place, any time, in any language, any culture, anywhere. And if it doesn't make sense to anyone, any place, any time, in any language, anywhere, then it isn't universal. It isn't Dharma. Which makes the Dharma, in essence, very simple to grasp. It should just plain make sense. But sometimes it takes great courage to think for ourselves. Often it is much easier to be told what to think, what to believe. It is easier at times to be told what is cool and what is popular. It's easier to be told what is important than to think and figure out for ourselves what makes sense and what's important. I think most of us know well that the essential teachings of Buddhism are, we call them the two I's. They are, there you go, impermanence and interdependence. This is the heart of the Dharma. If we see things as they are, then we will see that everything is impermanent. Yet at the same time, all things are interdependent and interconnected. All things, all people, every event and activity They are all interwoven in the karmic fabric of existence, of things as they are. This is the Dharma. This is universal truth. And it should resonate with anyone, any place, anytime, anywhere. Nothing is forever. And this is the beauty and the sadness of life, both. Not right or wrong, not good or bad. It is what? Reality, yeah. We often use the phrase, to live with our Dharma eyes open. This simply means that we should live seeing things as they are, not as someone tells us things are, or not how we wish things were. It is to live with Dharma clarity. But it is essential to keep in mind that the Dharma was not taught for anyone to believe. The Dharma was not taught for anyone to believe. The Buddha did not say, believe everything I say and don't question my teachings. He didn't say, just have blind faith in what I've taught and follow me. And as I've often shared, if anyone ever says, follow me, I know the way, unless you're in a building with smoke and flames and the guy saying this is a fireman, we consider anyone saying, follow me, believe in me, to be a big red flag that says, run the other way as quickly as possible. Nothing in Buddhism has ever taught to be believed. The Dharma has never been about believing anything. The Dharma was taught to be tested. It was taught to be tested. Is it true? Is it true that everything is impermanent? Is it true that things are all interconnected? This is not for believing. This is for us to test. And if we test it and we find it to be true, this to be true, then we should apply it to our lives. The Buddha taught the Dharma for 45 years and passed away at the age of 80. And it is said that before he died, he said to his followers, soon I will show you, even with my death, that all things are impermanent. And after I am gone, let the Dharma be your guide. Even with his last breath, he was teaching the essence of the Dharma to all around him. There are many well-known last words or last conversations that we hear about, maybe ones that we haven't experienced ourselves. And these remain a part of our lives. Shakyamuni Buddha's last words encourage all of us to live being guided by the Dharma, living real lives being guided by what is real. When we truly know that all things are impermanent, we begin to understand that we cannot take for granted the gift of each day. We cannot take for granted the love of family, the companionship of friends, the opportunity to be and to exist, even one day. We see again how precious life truly is. As I mentioned in the beginning, this annual memorial service for the historical Buddha is called Nirvana Day. And some of you may know that Nirvana literally means extinction. Extinction. Nirvana Day is not just about the end of the historical Buddha's life. It also refers to the ego, our ego being completely extinguished, to become truly selfless. Usually, I think we live with a very strong sense of self, sometimes perhaps even self-centered. But one exercise I found to help us not be centered on ourselves is to try to be other-centered, to care about and to be centered on others. This year's NBA All-Star event took place last weekend, over the Valentine's Day weekend. And one of the highlights of was the really incredible three-point shooting contest. There were a number of participants, but the finalists were Steph Curry, trying for back-to-back wins, versus his teammate, Klay Thompson. They are the most prolific shooting duo in the NBA and have come to be known as the Splash Brothers. In the final shootout, Steph Curry started out hot, making his first 7 shots in a row. He closed with a great score of 23 out of 30. Klay Thompson went second, and under great pressure, this guy caught fire and he just burned the nets, making his last 8 shots in a row to win with a score of 27 out of 30. It was amazing. And when Klay Thompson was interviewed at the end of the All-Star weekend, he was asked about the best memory he had of the entire All-Star event. And without hesitation, Klay Thompson said the best memory he is taking away from this special weekend was seeing his teammate and friend Steph Curry jumping up and down and rooting for him to win the 3-point shooting contest. That's a true friend and teammate, someone who is on your side and in your corner, rooting for you even when they are competing against you. Although they just lost their 5th game of this entire season, the Golden State Warriors remain on pace to tie and perhaps even break the 72-10 season record of the 95-96 Chicago Bulls. In watching this historic run of the Warriors, we easily see how important Curry and Thompson are to the team. Yet each and every one of the Warriors players and coaches acknowledge the reality that they owe their success to playing as a team. They play as one. They play relying on and respecting their shared interdependence with one another. They are playing without ego. They are not playing centered on themselves. I've come to feel in a way that the sports that we enjoy can often give us reflective lessons on living our lives. As we consider the games we love, we can see that there is a beginning and end to every game, a beginning and end to every season, and a beginning and end to every career. This was the Warriors' Draymond Green's first All-Star appearance, and this was Kobe Bryant's 18th and final All-Star game as he winds down his career. When Draymond was asked if Kobe shared anything with the newbies, he said, "Yeah, he told us just soak it in and enjoy it because it may never come again." Soak it in and enjoy it because it may never come again. The same, I think, is very true of life. We should soak it up and enjoy it thoroughly because each day we live will never come again. Coach Steve Kerr encourages his team to play with effort, enthusiasm, and enjoyment. Don't force anything, he says, and just do your best to respond to how the game unfolds. Again, I think the same can be said about how we can better live our lives. We should live with effort, which is one of the Eightfold Path and 6 paramitas. And we should live with enthusiasm. We should do our best to enjoy and appreciate every opportunity to be with those we love. And we should try to not force anything and just respond to how our life's journey unfolds. And I think we should try to surround ourselves with true Dharma friends and teammates. Dharma friends are people who are on our side and in our corner, rooting for us to do our best to be as true and real as we possibly can. In 2 weeks, our Betsuin sports program will host their annual basketball tournament, and I just wrote a letter for the tournament booklet, and in this letter, I close saying this. Our time on the basketball court and also in life is limited. Someday, our playing days will be over, and that day will come all too soon. But if we try to live each moment well and give each moment our best effort, we cannot help but look back in time on a life well lived. Today, we observe Nirvana Day, our annual memorial service for the historical Shakyamuni Buddha. Although born 26 centuries ago, we sit here today in this Hondo because of his life, his effort to pursue genuine understanding of life, that became his enlightenment. We should try to live as the Buddha requested with his last words. Soon we know there is an end to life, but always we should live with the Dharma as our guide. Because of the historical Buddha's life and his sharing of the Dharma, even until his last breath, the Dharma tradition exists today. And we have this wonderful temple, our incredible Dharma school program, and this vibrant Sangha here. Although we are separated from the Shakyamuni Buddha by 2,600 years, we are still all interconnected and interwoven in the grand karmic fabric of life. So I hope you'll take this appreciation for the life of the Buddha, his life, his passing, and his sharing of the Dharma that allows us to be here today. In closing, please join me in Gassho. Our time on the basketball court and also in life is limited. Someday, our playing days will be over, and that day will come all too soon. But if we try to live each moment well and give each moment our best effort, we cannot help but in time look back on a life well lived. Namo Amida Butsu.
Namo Amida.
Namo Amida.
Namo Amida.
Namo Amida.
Namo Amida. Namanda, 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 namanda.